Welcome to the triage. This is the triage on the 1st of November for Chef server issues. We are going to get started with some of the newly created issues or newly commented ones. All right. Um, this is 1685. 13010 does not work on older processors. I think one of the things that we had settled on was at least have good documentation.
Yeah. At least warn people that this is happening.
Yeah. Yes, you did ask that. Thank you. So we have set aspect documentation already. If it is hitting people, maybe I will add the consider or prioritize label. Or then like a just so that it shows up higher since people are being affected with it.
Yeah.
Affected by it. But
I'd love to know what the make it an option in Chef Server RP is asking. I
yeah.
wasn't totally sure what that was. It's it's not like something we can toggle right now.
Yeah.
Just the way the thing is built.
Yeah. I don't know if he means like send this as an option in Chef Server RB probably. But
Yeah, that would be that's not an option we can put in Server RP. That's a build op time option. And
but yeah, this is yes, you're right. Okay. So Tim added this. User create shouldn't show the key in the terminal. Oh. Okay.
interesting.
So I think unless you specify the minus F option, it'll not write to a file. It'll just write the whole key in the terminal, and it's fair enough. So maybe we should default to the minus F option unless the user gives a different path. Then save it. It's a very good point. I will say confirm because I think I've seen this behavior as well. Type. This is not a bug. It's a chore security enhancement. So enhancement, tech debt, no. Enhancement.
It's either it's a bug, kind of. It's a security bug, maybe. I don't know. I put aspect security if you didn't already.
Yeah. Oh, you've already put aspect security?
No, I have not touched it. I was just like, if you hadn't, just didn't notice if you had put security as an aspect.
Yes, that was the one I read, but yes, you're right. I know we have a chef server Kotlin. And this is a good first issue. State is prioritized, to be prioritized. Good first issue. Size, I want to estimate this to be a small. Okay. Moving on, add post install message to the packages. This is also good. I think this is the one that says, okay, tell them to run the reconfigure command. I think we do this on a upgrade. Like if you're upgrading a chef server, it'll tell you what to run next. But I think we assume that people would know to run reconfigure in the default flow.
Yeah.
This is a good thing to have.
Yeah, it's super easy.
I would put correctness and documentation. Triage confirmed. I'm pretty sure we don't show anything that says please reconfigure. Component. Would this be omnibus? Like, so others?
Yeah.
See, it is the first issue and prioritized and size small. Okay.
Right now.
Resorting and okay. I I think we've stopped on the knife errors. Let's look at chef server 1215 secure LDAP. Does not function with kernel FIPS mode enabled.
Oh dear. Um,
1215.8. So this is not related to what we are seeing right now. It's a different LDAP issue. Standard Active Directory setup. Over and so does this mean standard Active Directory setup over open LDAP or the Microsoft Active Directory?
still reading this. Sorry.
$636. Okay.
Um, hmm.
I like the look of 3.
Oh, interesting. I think
Uh,
this is interesting from the standpoint of like we might want to pull in looking at the Erlang 20 crypto library
yeah,
into the near term sprint. I
yeah,
think there's we definitely should. I think we should revisit this now that Erlang 20 is actually a thing.
almost, yeah.
Um, I mean, it feels like there's probably a work item around, you know, test LDAP. After Erlang 20 lands, there's a work item around test LDAP. And maybe we should um, figure out if this is worth like at least revisiting.
Yes. I'm going to link to the PR and just say revisit after this is merged.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it looks like we will. I mean, Stephen Dana's option one of rethinking of how we support FIPS and Earthchef. I'm not sure how much work that is in. Putting more functions in. Yeah, putting more functions in Erlang crypto might just be copy pasta, or it might be like a thing. And honestly, it's a little. I'd like to understand what functions we're missing. Because, like, so the whole point of FIPS is that you only implement a secure set of functions, and the set of functions you use are implemented in a verified fashion. And if we just haul in all the algorithms into our own backdoor module, kind of
Defeating the.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not quite what you're saying on the label.
Right. I'm going to say triage confirmed, because from the comments that Stephen, Dana, and G have added, it does seem like a bug.
Yeah.
That we know of.
Yeah, I trust them on that.
Aspect. Packaging?
No, it's more than. It's a.
Stability?
It's probably security ish. And well,
it's in the security section, but it is not for the security. Like,
yeah. I mean, and I don't know.
it just doesn't. It's a bug. It just does not work.
Correctness, yeah. Throw correctness in there, maybe too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is to be prioritized.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it's kind of nice we see this because I think it's completely timely that we.
I don't know.
It'd be it'd be worth at least doing a deeper review of it.
So I'll go with a large.
Yeah. Anything with FIPS automatically has like a difficulty modifier that bumps it up one.
Fair enough. Okay. The next one, chef server Cuttle claims as external and deletes private chef secrets.json before cleaning up the database. Hilarity ensues. This is bug 1340 by Irving.
Yeah.
I feel like we have two bugs in this area that we've seen now. Like the first one was the one that we saw last time. That control C was not killing it. Although that bug seems to be a little more finer than control C not stopping it. Control C does seem to stop it if you are within the 60 seconds, but once it starts, once the 60 seconds are up and it actually starts doing the delete, if you hit a Control C, then it doesn't seem to work.
Yeah.
Which seems like the right behavior. But anyway, that's a different bug, so
Yeah.
I won't get into it.
We can. So this, I don't think this bug has gone away.
Yeah.
I think I think Stephen Danda's comment seems right. Yeah, either reorder or fetch the secret in advance. It's probably a pretty small amount of work to fix. I mean, it's definitely a bug.
This may be sort of a good, slightly complex first issue.
Yeah.
But it might be a good one. Get a lay of the land. Medium seems good.
Yeah, medium or even small, somewhere in there. It's not a huge amount of.
Yeah, it might just take a little while to understand how chef's secrets, like what is the flow of operations rather than, like, the fix might not be big, but yeah, is it okay if I leave the size to medium?
Yeah.
Okay, unable to upload cookbooks if non-SSL mode is enabled. 1338. I'm assuming this is a load balancer. I wish GitHub understood that this page is bigger and that it can expand.
Hmm. Okay.
These are all 200s or 201 since it was a post.
I see. So the root problem is that we're handing back a bad URL. If you look at the body there, it's the port 80.
Yeah, should have been
443 or whatever.
Mhm.
I think we need to see if we can. Yeah. This. I mean, we should try to get a local repro of this and play with it a bit more. I suspect it's. I mean, getting the setup to verify it is going to be a bit, but actually fixing it, I suspect, isn't going to be. I don't think fixing it will be terrible. It'll probably be an Erlang change in the sandboxes stuff.
To return the right port or response, as it might be in this case.
Yeah. Just curious if I can spot the line of code quickly enough.
You have about 10 seconds till I add all my labels.
I have 10 seconds, you say.
Sorry. I'm just being for trolling you, as
It's
they say
so
in the world today.
easy. I am extremely trollable.
Yeah.
I believed it when someone told me that the word gullible wasn't in the dictionary.
That is a good one. This I'll put a size medium on this, not a small.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure how much of a. I'll say this is a good first issue, but I'm not sure how much of a.
I do think this is a good. I do not think this is a good first issue, unfortunately.
No. Okay.
No. Um, the reason I say
The
that,
setup for the setup.
um, I think it's gonna require. I have a sneaking suspicion that it's gonna require someone to kind of work their way through, follow their way through the config code inside of Erlang to figure out how we are getting the information about our SSL config into the response code. And um, and so I'm just like not sure that it's, it's probably it's probably going to be it's probably going to be a missing config path if I had to guess, where we're just not quite putting things all the way to the right spot. And I just was hoping, yeah, it's not obvious to me how we got here. So figuring out how that link is generated might require some requests and red bugging and things like that.
Okay.
So
Okay. Maybe moving on then.
yeah.
Mild at sea hosts pollution breaks communication between Urchef and Bookshelf. Huh. 1319. Yes, I'm sorry. Oh, maybe I've hidden a set of something unresolvable. I did mute in time before the sneeze. Yeah, this is true story, I think. I think we've seen something similar to this, that the value of API FQDN is not honored.
Yeah.
I feel like if nothing else, fixing the code to respect the value set in API FQDN might be a good start.
Yeah, boy.
I don't know if I'd call this a bug enhancement though. I would treat it as a bug.
Yeah, it's. I think I do a little bit agree with Cheese Plus's comment about it in that we are feeding some strange garbage into the system.
Yeah,
And I agree that it should be more robust, but it's also there will be a limit to how much hardening we can do.
right. Oh, are you suggesting that we close this?
I'm not going to go that far, but I think I think well, one thing is I'm not sure. I'm not sure whether we'll be able to reproduce it.
Yeah, which is why I feel like just making sure that we honor what's put in API FQDN might be a good start. And then we
Yeah,
can request them to see if they still have the issue.
yeah, I would, that seems fair. Um, we have an issue already to honor that, right?
Yeah, yeah, for API. Let me see if I can find that
Let's
issue.
say revisit this. Let's make a marker. Let's revisit this after we fix the. Yeah, I think that's what you were suggesting, and I like that approach.
Yeah, this one. Well, I know there is an issue with API FQDN, but not necessarily this issue. Does that qualify as confirmed, or should I say try reproducing? Because I don't know. Like try reproducing is not the right message. Uh,
I would. We're not 100% sure it's really a duplicate.
right.
It feels like it's likely to be overlapping.
Right.
Um, let's yeah, you almost want a
New
it's a
category.
yeah, I mean aspect packaging probably is right. The triage state is kind of like um I mean one thing we could do is say we believe this might be mitigated by this. Um, if you disagree, please respond. But otherwise, we could just we believe it's going to be mitigated by fixing the FQDN stuff. Maybe we close it and invite them to reopen it. I don't know. I don't want to like close them down because
Yeah. I I feel like for triage, it's a little bit of all three. Um, as in, we know the API FQDN is not respected. That part of it is true. We are not sure we are going to be able to reproduce this, but we should try to.
yeah
So that part of it is true. And it is similar to some other tickets, but not a duplicate. So that is also true. Um, I'll just go with needs information then,
yeah
not necessarily from the customer, from us maybe. All right. This looks like we have visited it. Create Docker environment for local development. Huh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I agree. Like, yeah, I agree with cheese plus. But we would welcome pull requests.
Yeah, I am not. I am against this one. I'm against. I would say that we have. I would say we should close this and say we have no plans to do this. Um,
Yeah, that
and
would
it,
be
like,
very
if
honest.
you have a, if you have a, I think the key criticism here is we don't support Docker environment for production, and um, Docker environment stuff is enough different that we had. I mean, this is why we habitized Chef Server in the first place.
Yeah,
Is that getting it into Docker in an omnibus framework just turned out to be a.
not a very easy experience.
It was an awful experience. It just it. I mean, you can make it work, but
Yeah,
it was kind of like you can make anything work with enough duct tape,
yeah.
and so I would close this,
Okay.
honestly, with a I I I
That's, at this time, we do not. Um,
I would say we don't support Chef Server on Docker, and it doesn't run well because it doesn't really run well in that environment. Yeah, trying to think of the best way to phrase it.
this for that
So
reason.
so a develop um, having a dev system in Docker would hit the same issues. I don't know.
Well, can we tell them that they could use the habitized version if they wanted to use it with Docker?
But we
It's not the same, I agree.
it's not the same, and it's again, it would require us to rethink our dev environment pretty much completely from scratch. Um, yeah.
Like, I since it does not run well and we don't recommend that you run Chef Server in Docker, there is no point really in having a dev environment do that because it'll be very different from the
Yeah.
way it is tested in the real world. But
So a yeah and a dev environment would have the same problem, and um, be very different from, and as mentioned above, it'd be very different from the way we actually deploy things, leading to leading to problems.
Closing this issue for now.
Closing this issue for now. I mean, I feel like if someone really wanted to implement it, we would be happy to look
But
at the PR. But
right, but pull requests are welcome. Should I say that?
yeah, closing the issue now because we have no plans to implement it.
Right.
I don't. Yeah, I feel like I don't want to like leave this issue open just without. I don't want to give people false hope on something
Fair
that
enough.
is
Not could be done. Or
it's very low. I think on any
fair enough.
priority list.
Fair enough.
Let's see.
This is 1280. Issue with Squint and
Squitch.
Bifrost.
Yeah, probably
Sketch, I'm
Squitch.
gonna say.
Yeah.
And Bifrost schema. Username may not contain less than. Username may not contain. So he probably has users in his DB that contain either the less than sign or a square bracket, I'm guessing.
Well, that's the puzzling thing. I'm wondering. Which username? I mean, this is all database usernames, right?
Yeah.
That's so weird. I have. Well, first of all, I have no idea how this is happening.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, from what I see here, I would
Yeah.
think it would be the username we're trying to put into Sketch or, Postgres. But obviously, if that was the case, it should fail for everybody who ever does it.
Everybody. Right.
So there's something else going on. Maybe it is their user database, but wow.
Like, I don't know. If somebody told me that they need to have a square bracket or a less than sign in their username, I I would start with that's generally not allowed, and that's for a reason. But I don't know how we want to approach this. Like, if we want to say
Well,
yes, we'll accommodate everything.
the question I have is this username is this a bit of a does it really mean that the username contains this, or are we somehow getting data, like, is it getting data from a weird source? Like, is there like a m variable that has set up that's like pgsql user that has line noise in it, or is this a failure of a shell quoting problem? Or, I mean, that's where my head goes when I look at this, is that there's probably not actually a real user with garbage name. um I mean, Debbie and Jesse I mean, Debian Jessie isn't supported, but CentOS 7 sure is.
Yeah.
Um, and it's I would ask them if this is still an issue with latest Chef server, and if it is, let's see if we can walk them through some more debugging, because I'm deeply curious how they had this happen.
Do, what do you think is a good approach? Just ask questions on this, or have them reopen it if they see it in the newer versions of Chef server?
I don't know. I don't know how you kind of want to run things with that. I mean, you could just say close it and let us know if this is.
My like the difficulty that I face with closing anything out is I feel like we've lost a tracker or a marker to anything that might be remotely real.
So
So
yeah, I well, it's not gone forever if we close it.
Right, but I doubt we are going to reopen a closed book to take a look at it, to be quite honest with you.
I think, well, I know when I go on Google and search for bugs, if I see a closed bug and I'm saying, oh, I'm getting it in version, new, I will either reopen it or
Reopen it. Okay.
refer to it. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing. I am.
Okay.
I don't think we have enough information to reproduce this yet.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe we can ask for some info then.
Yeah. Because from what I feel like there's some missing piece of data. Either their environment has something going on that I'm not seeing, or something, because the install CentOS on CentOS 7 path is basically what we do in CI every night.
Right.
And so I have
Um, um,
and it wouldn't be crazy to reply and just revisit this in a bit. I don't know. I don't know. Is close or
yeah.
not? I guess I would
Yeah.
close.
Okay, I was gonna leave it open, but should I close it? I can.
I would say close it for our tracking purposes, and
Okay.
invite them to reopen it, because that way, if we close it and they reopen
Okay.
it reappears in our world.
Okay.
Otherwise, we don't have to look at it.
Issue for now. Please. If you yeah. Is this okay?
I think that's great.
Okay. Okay, and we are at time, or 6 minutes about.
Okay.